It's 7. Are we ready to start answering? Letting folks enter?
Yes, ma'am, we're all set.
And we're live on Facebook.
Tirza, you can go ahead and greet the community.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Wake Up community. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to our community, folks. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We are so appreciative of our early risers. We so appreciate those who are on time. Thank you so much. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Tirza, and I'll be hanging out with you today. So get your cup of coffee. You know I got mine. We're going to be getting started soon. Good morning to my beautiful sister, Stacy. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, beautiful folks. It's going to be an amazing day.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Grand Rising.
Thank heavens for a new day. Isn't it wonderful to be blessed with a new day? Thank the heavens. Good morning. Good morning. Isn't it wonderful to wake up and be with a community of like-minded folks? Praise the heavens for that. Yes. Isn't it wonderful to be able to connect with powerful spiritual teachers? This is beautiful. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Get ready, y'all. Today we're talking about let go of the story. All right, so get ready. Good morning. Did I dare try to sing? How dare I with this raspy morning voice? That's the joy in me, y'all. That's the joy. I just got to sing, even though I can't sing. The joy in me. Good morning, everyone. I see everyone coming through, clicking in. All right. Well, thank you. Of course, my sister and one of my besties would tell me I could sing. You know, that's how we do. We love on each other. Thank you.
Blessings, family. Morning, Tirza.
Good morning, beautiful. Good morning. Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you all. Oh, so happy. Thank the heavens for this day.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Yes. Good morning, beautiful folks.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
You're muted, Tirza.
All right. Rewind, let me do that again. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Everybody community. It's such a pleasure to be here and be back with my brothers and my sisters, my fellow queens and kings. I'm so happy to be back here this morning. I'm feeling good. My spirit is vibrating on such a high level right now. And there's just this humbleness that's over me that I am able to serve today and offer to you what I'm bringing to the table. By the way, I'm Tirza Barnes-Griffith, motivation specialist and personal and professional development strategist. And, my work, if I had to sum it up, that was a real fancy title, but, my work is just to do my purpose, which is to build up and encourage people and provide teaching and education that lead folks into freedom. And so, this conversation that we're having today, titled Let Go of the Story, is another aspect or another way to become free, So first of all, let me know how y'all feeling, right? Somebody write something in the chat telling me how you feel, or I feel like I want to dance or something. Could somebody do a whoop whoop, a dance, or let me just see the energy in the space. Let me see the energy in the space. Let me see who's moving around. Oh, y'all cute. Let me see. Anybody moving around? Get up and dance. Yes, Stacy's about that. Stacy, great job with your presentation yesterday too. All right, so hopefully the energy is high and you're feeling really good in terms of the vibrations and love that's just flowing in our space this morning. So let's get to it. We're talking about letting go of the story. So let me tell you how I came up with this topic and this title. A very dear and close family member was at my home a week or so ago, and we were having our regular check-in conversation, and she proceeded to tell me about the many challenges and troubles in her life. She told all the details of it. And as I'm listening, because I know her and how she flows, what she was sharing with me was not new. I heard it before. It was very deficit-based. It was this overwhelming darkness of what's going on in her life. And I'm listening and I'm offering what I could, as I do when people are sharing with me. And she proceeded to say, and I've always been like this. And it's because of the way that was done, how it was done, and that's why it's the way it is. And something clicked in me. And I said, boy, I heard that too. I heard that story from her before, at least 5, 8, 10 times before. I've heard the story about her life and why it's the way it is. And so here was the challenge attached to that story. It was the reason why she lives the way she is living. It's the reason why she feels the way she is feeling, right? So there's a story about her life, and what's being manifested in her life is based on the story. Is everyone with me on that? So I'm listening to this, and I'm in my kitchen, and I slowly turned around to her, and I said, it's time to let go of that story, because that is what you are producing in your life. The results of the story you continue to tell yourself. What's coming up for you for that, from based on what I just shared with you? Do you hold on to a story? Are you holding on tightly to something that occurred to you, or something that someone has done to you, or something you won't let go of, and you keep rehearsing in your mind and you keep hitting replay over and over and over again? Is there a story you keep telling yourself? And the story could be packaged in big situations like life. Something happened to me, someone hurt me, someone harmed me, There was an injustice towards me. My mama didn't do what she was supposed to do. Daddy didn't do what he was supposed to do. My partner and my spouse, he didn't do what he was supposed to do, or she did this to me. And that's just wrapped around you. And you hold it tightly and you walk with it and you own it so proudly because they did it. And now it becomes what I'm calling your chains of enslavement. Your chains of enslavement. Does anyone have a story where they are caught up in, where they're drowning in it, they're attached to it so much that they can't find freedom and let go of it? So I want to tap into the community and see if anyone can relate to this point around a story you've been holding on to. Now, the story, like I said, could be big or it could be something that's considered small, right? So again, something that someone did to you, or it could be, my child, is going to get up and be funky this morning when I'm trying to get them ready for school. And that story plays in your head before the day even starts. It could be something as little as that. All right. So can we tap into the community and see what people are feeling and thinking about this, the story? Who has a story? Who's holding on to a story? Does anyone want to share? I know it's early. I'm tapping into the community early.
It is early, Tirza, and in the absence of, Purple just jumped into the chat about 3 stories. So Purple, would you be willing to unmute yourselves and share one of your stories with the community?
Yes, pardon me for not being on screen right away. I'll be on in a few minutes. Good morning and thank you, everybody. So I have, even though I'm aware of the story and been doing my best to break through it, I have a story that when I win, people resent me.
When you what?
When I win, when I do well, when I have fun, when I succeed, the people closest to me, it hasn't necessarily been a celebratory thing when I was younger with the loved ones. So I noticed that I still am breaking through having people around me that I can trust, and sharing what I accomplish. Sometimes it feels like bragging, sometimes it's not. So I go in and out of my visibility and vocalness and celebrating and actually succeeding. The story is that I'm a loser.
Thank you for that. So let's unpack that. And then we're going to move on to someone else because I want to keep hearing the different type of stories that come up. So the story, I love how you summarize it in. The story is, I'm a loser, right? Now, what's the impact of you telling yourself the story? You said you don't connect with folks, you don't share your accomplishments, you don't have intimacy with other people. And here's the biggest thing. You are persecuting yourself and not living fully in the light, glory, manifestation, blessing of all that life is bringing you. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of
it's been a scenario of make sure everybody else wins. So that's the kind of persecution, is that I spend a lot of energy outward on others versus doing what is necessary for me first and giving from my overflow. So I'm aware of it. It's just breaking the habit of it has been,
right.
a thing.
Yeah. So, and good. And we're going to talk about that, but see and this is for other people to learn from in terms of you sharing, allows other people to connect with themselves. So I want to pinpoint something. So the outcome is the denial of your full self, your authentic self, your true self. It's wearing a mask, and that mask is designed to accommodate others and not really serve you fully. Like you're not in your full presence. You're not giving all of you, the life, the creation, the beauty, the power, all that you bring.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. Who else do we have? I saw some other comments come in. Who else has been letting a story just control their lives? Nigel, I saw a couple of comments come in. Would you be able to tap into those?
Sure, absolutely. There is a comment coming from Facebook. Ty Hamilton Clifford says, I have held stories, but I believe that I have the power to shift when I choose. I'm working to shift when I notice the triggers.
Good, good, beautiful, beautiful. And that's the whole idea of this, right? We want to be able to move out of it. We want to be able to shift. We don't want to stay in it. Everything can be transformed, right? That's the whole idea. That's how we have to look at this. Whenever we're being enslaved to a type of behavior that is preventing us from living our fullest self, we want to transform it. And there are practices that allow us to do that. There are practices that allow us to do that. I'm looking at the chat. There was someone else who shared something.
Sure.
I want to be able to get specific in terms of someone who says, yes, I have a story.
Okay. Tirza, I'm sorry, I'm calling your name. I meant to say Zakia. Zakia says, I do. I've tried to let it all go. It is not easy. And then later she dropped in the chat, it's more like stories. So Z, are you willing to come on and share one story with the community so that Tirza can talk with you directly?
Hey family, greetings.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've got a ton of them. I'll probably go back to the oldest one I'm consciously aware of, and that would be feeling less than, going all the way back to childhood when I became a sibling. I'm the oldest, so for the first 6 years of my life, my parents were mine, and the way that my brother came into existence was my mom had complicated pregnancies, so I was a complication. I was a miracle. The doctors said normally under the circumstances, those babies are stillborn. I was not. I was late, but premature weight, and then a baby was lost when I was about 2, and so when my mom got pregnant the third time, they decided we were living in Bermuda, and they decided to have her come up here to New York to have a better chance of that pregnancy being as normal as possible. So at 5 years old, my mom left, and at 5 she could have taken me with her, but they didn't think of that. So I was left for more than the length of her pregnancy because she had to stay here and make sure everything was okay, So she came back with this new baby, had not been there for me for almost a year, and because I was so self-sufficient, they forgot that I still needed my parents, and they focused all their attention and energy on the new baby. And then to make it worse, I wanted a sister and they got a brother. So that didn't help either because I didn't understand why I couldn't get at least get what I wanted out of the whole deal, So I've grown up feeling like I was no longer important.
So let me ask you a question. What is the story so that is the situation. That's the occurrence. Something occurred, something happened, right? Mm-hmm. Something happened and you created a story. What's the story? Be very specific on this. Mm-hmm.
I don't matter.
You don't matter. Powerful. Now, I also want to ask you, what is the result of you having the story of you don't matter? How does it look on you? How does it show up on you?
I have success, and then as soon as it starts getting good, it flops. Just, everything falls apart.
Based on the belief that you have about yourself that you don't matter. And the flop, and that's a whole nother conversation, right? But the flop Because that's a story too, by the way. That's a story too. I flop.
Yeah, I said I got a bunch of them.
Right. But pay attention to how the stories begin to multiply. That's interesting, right? I flop, right? Really? Is that so, or is that in your head, right? And is that a story that you create that brings out the end result? Okay, so pay attention to this, right? So I want to try to connect the dots. Something occurs in our life. We create a story about the occurrence, and then from that, we begin to create more stories and produce behaviors and end up things resulting in ways we don't necessarily want it to be, which makes us tell another story, which is just a deficit in our lives, right? It just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. Okay, so I want us to pay attention to that, right? That's why it's so important for us to get a hold of it quickly and know what's really going on. So the experience that you had was simply an occurrence, something that happened, and then you created a story behind it. And that story is keeping you enslaved. Does everyone get that? Right? I just want to emphasize that there was something that happened. You created a story. Now my life and how I live and how I think about myself is based on the fake story. Everybody say fake story. If you could say it out loud, if I was in a live room, I would have the whole room say fake story.
Fake story.
Because it's not real. It's not real. You know, I have my own story about, and sometimes we don't even know that the story is alive, real and present. So for me, I went to school with I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. My mother decided she wanted to send me to a school that was of mostly white children because she wanted to, protect me and give me, a different type of environment than what I was growing up in. And she had good intentions, but here's the thing. Being in that school around mostly white kids who I saw experiencing things that I didn't, had me create a story that I was less than, not worthy enough. And it wasn't until many, many years later, I realized that story was attached to me like glue. And no matter how successful I was, no matter how well I was progressing, no matter how confident I appeared, it was always lingering around me, hanging out around me, right? And when I tell people this, they're shocked because I always put the presentation up that I'm confident, and I always thought I was. But when you start to dig into the depths of self and you find out what's really going on, that's when that stuff starts to come up. And what started coming up for me, and what is the biggest challenge that I have to continue to slay, is the story of I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. And so it's important that we pay attention to what stories we have created based on an occurrence. I think the real question we have to ask ourselves, are we comfortable with letting a situation, an occurrence, or an experience define and dictate our lives? Are we comfortable with that? Or are we strong enough and empowered enough to not let that occurrence dictate our lives, but empower us to something greater? That is our testimony, that is our story. And we refuse to attach this. Let me say that better because I don't want to confuse people. It is our testimony, it is our growth experience that we can use to bless even other people. Is it possible that we don't have to attach a fake story to every occurrence that happens? Because it is not the occurrence that is limiting us, it's the fake story that is limiting us. So the view that we take must be based on, I had this experience, it's true, I have to heal from the experience, I will grow from the experience, but I won't create a fake story because of the experience. I love what Catherine said, I plan to stay free. That's what this is about, right? It is about being free. Stories enslave us. They are chains that keep us down. They are lies. So I've been walking around with a lie about my worthiness. I believe it was Z who talked about, you don't matter. That's a damn lie. Of course you matter. So this is about undoing those fake stories, friends. And so what I'm inviting you to do is to call that story out and look at it for what it is. It's not true. The situation, experience, and occurrence is real, but what you attach to it is not. And once you see that, you begin to get free. You begin to get free. Does anybody want to share anything just based on what we're talking about right now? And I love what someone said about, how do you do that? We're going to get to that. But does anybody have anything to say about, you know what? I want you to call out the story, not the occurrence. You had an occurrence, but what's the story, the fake story you done made up in your head? Because that fake story is impacting your entire life. It's impacting your entire life. So, what my dear family member shared with me is that she wakes up every morning feeling sad and depressed and anxious. When I think about it now, if you're constantly in the story, hell yeah, you're going to wake up sad, depressed, and anxious, because that's what you live. That's what's surrounding you. That's what you believe. It's what you think. And so that's the fruit you produce, the rotten fruit, the fruit that doesn't serve you, the fruit that's not a blessing for you, the fruit that's not a blessing for others. So Niger, if we can tap into some folks who are just sharing and making comments, and I want someone who is ready to set themselves up, set themselves free right in this moment around calling the story out. Calling the story out. And let me say, while you're looking for those people, I want to go over something with you. So why is it that we hold on to the story? I have some suggestions for you. First and foremost, it's what we know. It's what we know. Okay? It feels good to us because it's what we know. And the knowing is comfortable. The knowing is comfortable. I have such allergies today, y'all. Forgive me. I got to use the tissue. And so what we know is comfortable, and what we don't know is uncomfortable. So the story that's attached to the occurrence keeps us flowing, and it feels right. It's what we know. And the courageousness to unattach ourselves to it, to disconnect to it, feels uncomfortable, because what does that mean? Well, guess what it means? It means you have to be accountable and take personal responsibility. So we hold on to the story because it gives us reason to not be responsible for ourselves, to not take personal accountability, to not do it. Because, see, all this time when we're in a story based on the occurrence, we get to look outside of ourselves. We get to look at who did it, what happened, and that is our comfort space. We don't get to look within and say, I am going to cut this off. That's the personal responsibility. The work is required. When you take personal responsibility, that means I'm going to do the work. I'm going to be accountable for my own life and not let the occurrence impact the way where I want to be in my life or how I want to feel in my life. Okay? We hold on to the story because we haven't done the deep work of digging in to heal. Because sometimes, this may be hard to hear, it's good to be the victim. Sometimes that victim story works for us because it gives us reason to not be accountable and not take personal responsibility. So it's hard to let go of the story sometimes because we get to blame and shame others and make them feel guilty. We don't let go of the story because we get to blame and shame ourselves and feel guilty. How dare she say all this stuff? Doesn't she know what I've been through? Right? All right. What are folks thinking? Talk to me, Nigel. Give me some good stuff. What are folks feeling and thinking?
Okay, so just before you started talking about the victim and the comfort in being the victim, Dion dropped in Facebook that she became a victim of her own confidence and therefore did not get help. She felt that she had everything under control. Now, though, she asks for help. And, you know, in response to your question about who is ready to call out the story, maybe we can go back to Z and see if Z is ready to call out the story since we started talking with her a moment ago.
But she did actually, Naja. I think she did a good job of that, right? So I'm going to tap in. Thank you for that. But I'm looking at some of the comments, and I want to be able to touch a couple of different people.
Okay.
I see Jacqueline Davis said, I keep reminding myself that my story is false, but I still struggle each day. So even when I do the opposite, those around me are used to my story. Those around me are used to my story. Jacqueline, are you going to come in and talk to us?
I'm here.
Okay. Good morning. How are you today? Hey, girl. So here's what's interesting. Those around me are used to my story. So what's the story you're calling out? Give me a very brief, concise. What's the story you're calling out?
I can't talk right now.
Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. Just continue to take it in and process. We love you. We're with you. Not a problem. Let's see. I released and continue to release myself from a fake story. I have been sharing my journey with my son. Good. Anybody else who's ready to call out their story?
Teresa has her hand raised, Tirza, and then sure, Teresa, if you can come off of mutes.
Yes, hi. Thank you. I've been telling myself a story about that you know, I couldn't get well, and that, that I had to be, like I enjoy being sick because I was afraid of, of like living a life without being sick. So, because I'm not, living like that, at this particular point to the degree that I was, it is very challenging some days because I have to fight, my old thinking. Like yesterday, I went out and I was walking around, and I normally would get the scooter, but it's like the spirit said, no, I want you to walk. And I was like, damn, I did good, so I was surprised that I was able to walk, that much in the store, because I hadn't done it. But what I'm realizing that doing a lot of stuff that I hadn't doing, it's like the only way I could find out what I can do is I got to do it. But I do struggle sometimes where, where I get afraid, like even when I do make a good, a good thing, that there's still like a struggle, like, it's not enough, really. It's like it's not enough. It's like, okay, well, you did that, but it's like I'm not giving myself like giving my friend said, I'm not giving myself grace, like when I progress. I'm always beating myself up even when I am doing good. It's like it's always like you just beating yourself up all the time about it's not enough. Really, that's exactly what it's about, saying it's not enough. It's never enough.
Yeah, and see, so that thing right there of, I call it the self-persecution, right?
Yeah.
It's very much attached to the story, right? It's like we have been so trained to dishonor ourselves rather than to honor ourselves. This is just the way the world has been designed for some reason. And like, it's like, don't appreciate yourself, beat yourself up. Tell yourself you're not enough. Tell yourself you're not doing enough, even when you're doing the best that you can. And so it's a constant undoing of that way of thinking. And it's a choice to say, I'm living a life that is going to be designed for me to appreciate myself every day, right? And so, Teresa, I like that you said, you know what? I'm growing. I'm choosing to not live in the story. I'm challenging myself out of the story. I'm practicing living outside of the story. And beautiful, you're doing the work. Yet you get in your own way because of how we think. And then you start to create another story. Look at that. Remember I told you the stories multiply? I'm not doing enough though. It wasn't enough. You know, folks, at the end of the day, this whole conversation is about self-love and appreciation and being kind to yourself. Like, what if we just made the choice to stop beating ourselves up? Well, if we just like stop being so hard on ourselves, start just loving ourselves. And let me tell you, we do so much better at attempting to do it with other people. If you in a new relationship, I say new because when it's new, it's so juicy, right? And so you just loving on that person, and you know how you love on them, yet we're not doing it for ourselves. We're constantly beating ourselves up. So in this process of letting go of the story, it's very important that you don't create another story and trying to get out of one story, and that you just be present to the fact that you are a growing being. You are growing, and every day is a step forward to you becoming whole and free. Imagine if we lived life that way. And yes, it's work. It's work. That's why I said sometimes the reason why we're still in the story is because we're not doing the deep inner work. Every single day, we got to work at this game of loving ourselves and becoming free. Every single day. So as I stand before you, don't think I'm not doing my studying. Don't think I'm not doing my prayer. Don't think I'm not doing my meditation every day. All of that must be maintained so that I can be whole and free. And, you know, I heard someone say this the other day. I was listening to a recording and they said, when you are saying I'm trying and I want to, you're not present in it. It has to move from trying to I long for to I am. I am being it. I am healed. I am worthy. I do matter. Not I'm trying to matter. Notice the language. Does anybody connect with that? Right? We have to not keep trying and longing for. We have to be it. Be it. Live it, right? That's a process, but start owning it in this very moment. I am it. So whatever that story is and what you attach to that story, that deficit, undo it and say what you want to be. I do matter. I am healed. I am well. And that knowing it will embrace and embody all that you are. No more longing, no more trying. Be it. Be it. Okay. Any other comments, questions? What's coming up for folks? Naja, you can help me out there.
There continues to be questions about how people move to releasing the story, especially in spaces where others may not be like-minded, we'll say. There were some other comments about things that others were doing. So Terry says that, let me scroll back up, sorry. Terry says she has taken pen in hand and written her story. She accepts 100% her actions. She holds herself accountable and has taken her power back. She went on to say it was a major life event that brought her to this realization. There have been some other comments in the chat thanking you for reminding them about the truths, that they are powerful, that they can, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read as I talk. Thanking you for dropping this message at this time for them in their healing journey. Afua says this is right on time.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And then Charmaine had a comment. Charmaine, do you want to come off of mute and share your comment? And then we have a hand raised as well. Tirza, Stacy has a hand raised.
So let's tap into what we have so far. If we have 2 folks, let's do it.
Okay.
We have the time, right?
Yeah, my comment is that when I was deathly ill in the hospital, when I came home, I succumbed to it, and then I remembered what a particular nurse said to me while laying in that hospital bed, and she was telling me that, you know, grab on, find yourself in the midst of your illness, and heal. And those words that she said resonated. And from then I had these daily affirmations that I said to myself: I am not ill, I am healed. This illness does not control me, I control this illness. And once I said that daily to myself, my healing process began. I went from 85 pounds and started gradually putting back on the weight. My appetite came back. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
thank you.
Right. So here's the thing, and I'll pull out some of, people are curious about the how. So I'm going to use what you shared as one of the hows, right? So Charmaine, you took personal responsibility. You stopped looking outside of yourself and you went inside yourself. And you pulled up this strength that you probably didn't even know you had until the moment you said, enough is enough, I'm taking personal responsibility for my life. The doctors probably couldn't do what you did. They couldn't. So when we are in a story and we're looking outside of ourselves, the blame game has to stop. Looking at, no one is going to do it for you but you, because it's your life. It's your life. And so, like I said, it's comfortable to pay attention to what we know rather than what we don't know. What you don't know is how powerful you are in your fullest strength. And so when you say, I am strong enough to get through this, you will find within yourself everything you need to let go of that story and be free. But it's up to you to take the responsibility and say, I'm accountable for my life. I'm holding on this point so much because I recently had a breakthrough in my own life around this. I decided I want to live a certain type of life that allows me to be free. But what I realized is there was like these testicles of the old life like latched to me, and it's like I'm trying to go here and the testicles are like, no, come back over here. And that old life is in deficit, negativity, constructs, not free, fear, subconscious thinking, and it feels terrible on me. And I'm like, why am I continuing to feel like I want to go back here? I hope you're all with me on this, right? I hope my body flow is showing y'all what this looks like, right? The testicles pulling me. And I had to say to myself, the spirit and me doing the work, doing the deep work and the reflecting and praying, what God showed me was, you got to do the clip. You got to clip it off. You got to make the personal decision to clip it off. And every time you feel like you being pulled over, you got to snatch yourself back and come back to reality, the free reality. That was amazing to me, because what God was showing me is that it's you, sister. You got to do what you got to do for you. Yes, that was the life. That's not your life anymore. You know what is best for you now. I hope folks are connecting to that. Thank you, Charmaine, for sharing that. So the how, one of the tips, personal responsibility, taking accountability for yourself. Stop looking outside yourself. Stop blaming people. Get that out your head. Set yourself free from that. Set the people you're holding responsible for your story free. So here's another tip. Let go of the struggle. And the struggle is attached to you looking at everybody else and the whys around why things are the way they are for you. That is your inner struggle. Let it go and make peace with what is. Can I make peace with being molested as a child? Can I make peace with being let go from my job? These are the questions that you're probably saying to yourself based on what I'm saying. Can I make peace with my partner cheating on me? Can I make peace with divorce? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Make peace with this so that you can live your life in the fullest and best life that is designed for you. Let go of the struggle. Seek to make peace with the thing that has hurt you, the occurrence. See, you're making peace with the experience, the situation. Make peace with it, because it's the situation that made you create the struggle. So we have to go back to the occurrence and find peace in that. And once you find peace with it, I guarantee you, you will be blessed in a way you never have been before, and you're going to be a blessing to others, All right, Nigel, let's go into, I think you said someone else had their hand raised. Thank you, Charmaine.
Yes, Stacy, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am here.
Good morning, Stacy.
I'm here with the morning base for y'all. Good morning. Yeah, so how you doing, sisters, brothers? Wow. So it's so funny because when I came on, and I'll show my face after because I had to write it down.
Okay.
To make it plain. So I was listening and I was like, yeah, stories. That's right. Everybody get rid of those stories. And I was like, boo, what's your story? Right? Like, what is your story? And at first I was like, I don't have any stories. Like, I know how to release my stories. I don't got no stories. And I was having the conversation last night, and this is a conversation that keeps coming up within the last month. And I'm currently in a relationship with an awesome man. And one of the stories that I see that I'm telling myself is, so perfect, because how you said a story begins, it begets another story. So the story is that I have is I'm an outcast if I may not want to get married again, or since I have these delicious ingredients in the pot, it's like, hey, you gotta be ready to make this meal soon, Stacy, aren't you? So it's like that's the story that I'm making, that I may be an outcast if I want to get married again. And then it had another story attached to it, which was I'm responsible for so many people. Like, how dare I maybe not want to get married again? Because then the other women of the world may be like, oh, they may follow me. I don't know. Does God want me to do that? So all of these other stories, blah, 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 is coming up. And I'm like, this story is getting released today. Like this, I'm going to work on this to release that.
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
yes.
I love that example. So I spoke about this the last time I was on, when I did the Undoing the Programs of Happiness, right? The programs, I don't know if you remember this. And I talked about how we've been trained and how we've been taught that things have to be a certain way, or we have to do things a certain way. So guess what's attached to stories? Beliefs, constructs, programs, paradigms, and patterns. Absolutely. Of how we've been told things are supposed to be.
And expectations of others.
No, it's the socialization of life. So the marrying, let's just use marrying, for example. And I've been doing some studying on this, so this is timely. And depending on what you believe in, you all will waver with this conversation and flow with it, right? The idea of marriage is a belief that has been introduced to us, and many of us have flowed with it. And for some of us, it's worked really well. And for some of us, it hasn't. And some of us desire it, and some of us don't. But whatever it is for you, it's a story based on what you've been trained to believe. So if we're talking about freedom, it's about saying what works for you, not what you've been trained to believe. Because all of those bullet points that you listed about being married, I'm responsible for others, what type of example am I setting for people, I should be thinking about getting married, that's all based on what you have heard other people say, or what you have been taught is connected to marriage. The real question is, for your freedom, and so that you can break free from the story, when you say you're going to work on it, and you're beautiful at this, Stacey, it's the honoring of yourself and knowing what you really want. See, when we get into the stories and when we let the stories define us, we lose ourselves because the story is connected somehow to a belief. And the belief is, maybe I should be married. So now you're in this story of, I should be married, and if I'm not, here's what's going to happen. So what if you said, I am going to do the soul searching within me and honor myself and look at really what it is that I want, no matter what's going on around me, no matter what I was taught, no matter what other people think, what's best for me. So when I talked about the testicles pulling me out from my freedom space, you know what it was? It was just the stories. It was the ideas and beliefs about what should be. Many of you know that I'm in the process of a divorce. So the story of should I stay for my family when I see my child go through something emotionally? Every time my child may cry, you know, the holiday season just passed. And, you know, she went through an emotional space of I'm remembering our Christmases with the four of us together. Oh man, did that trigger something in me? And everything that I have been working for over the past year of healing and finding my freedom and independence and being so joyful the way I've never been before, I lost that because I was triggered and I started getting pulled. And the personal and the pulling was the stories and the ideas of family should be together. You know, I shouldn't do this to my kids. It's my fault. This is, you know, did you work hard enough at it? Did you do enough? Meanwhile, like the spirit was saying, no, you got to clip that because you know what's best for you. And it was this going back to personal responsibility, me looking at myself and asking what is best for you, Tirza. And so, Stacey, what I'm asking you to do is to get rid of clip the stories, the ideas, the programming, the training of how people say it should be, and go to you, your greatest source, and align with yourself and what you desire, honoring what you desire. Honoring me is being free. Honoring me is not going back to anything that I know is not serving me. So look how stories, see, there's, like I told you, those big life stories, and then there's those little baby stories about, oh, I should be this way. I should do it this way. This is what my mother would do. This is what the church would do. This is how it should be this way. And we get caught up in that and we deny our true selves.
And that's great. And I'm that's what I've been living through, like in the moment, like thinking of the stories. And then what is so funny, the next story that popped up for me when I was going through this, like, okay, so Stacey, you're not doing this. And when you don't, and then the story that came up was, oh, so when I break free and I'm not doing this, I'm going to be too much for people. I'm going to be too much. I'm really going to be too much. They're going to be like, who the F does she think she is? Like, who do you think you are to dare break these social constraints? Who do you think you are to live outside of what been
you are
brought
God's
into
child,
our minds
in
the Western part of the world, which is a whole nother thing to break down. But I got it and I get it. And that's the newness for me, you know, stepping into, and I feel like I want to cry now because it's really like, it's all what I learned is that it's all about agreement. And when there's a large part of folks over here that's in agreement, let's say you have 20 people in a room and 15 people are in agreement that marriage is the way to go. Oh no, but this is how we do, this is what we do. So the 5 people who are like, hey, live free, they're not looked upon because they're not the agreement. So it goes with what agreement is. And so many of our agreements and constructs, of course, comes from our parents. It comes from the world. It comes from all these institutionalized, all this shit. And breaking out of that. And I know that I'm a person who is, who can be that, or who is, though my spirit told me to say who is. Okay, so who is radical and who is a chain breaker. And these gotta effing go. And
but
they
so
will.
Stacey, here's the thing though. You use the term agreement. See, folks, this is for everybody. The agreement has to be with yourself. Alignment with yourself. That's the ultimate freedom. When we are one with ourselves. See, the testicles that are pulling me over this way, when I'm going that way, I am not in wholeness with myself. I'm not in peace with myself. I'm not well with myself. When I move over this way, I'm in alignment. I'm in agreement. I don't have to search for peace. I wake up with it. I don't have to work so hard to find God. I know God is surrounding me. He's with me. See, that's the thing. It's you being in alignment. Will you honor yourself enough to align with yourself? Aligning and being in agreement with yourself. The moment you stop agreeing with yourself, your true self, that voice within you, that's when things get confusing. That's when things get complicated. That's when you start doubting yourself. How many of us are willing to be in agreement with ourselves no matter what's going on? See, freedom is about not giving a damn about what other people think. That's why you got to stop talking so much to folks, because they ain't ready for your space of freedom.
Hallelujah.
Everybody's not ready for where you going.
They not ready. They not ready.
Right? When you are honoring yourself and you learn to trust yourself, when you learn to trust yourself, nothing that anyone can say matters. You know what you know because you know. You know, so this conversation, I want to bring it back to the topic of letting go of the story. See, there's a process to letting go of the story, because the story is attached to so many different things. People, beliefs, values. Who am I? Who am I not? And it takes courage to detach, to cut the testicles off of every component of that story. So you want to know the how? See, Stacey, you're doing the work. You're asking the questions. You're going back. You're like, wait a minute, wondering. You're curious. That's the work. That's the work. You got to do the work. And you have the practices. You get the practices every day from this community. You're getting the practices right now, right? You got to put in the work and challenge it. So when it comes up, don't beat yourself up. When you walk away from here today, that story is going to revisit you. The feeling attached to the experience is going to come back. Okay, don't beat yourself up. Put in the work. Talk life to yourself. Affirm yourself. Speak the opposite of what you've been believing for so long. Stop blaming yourself. Stop blaming others. Make peace with what is. Take personal accountability. Choose a new story. So here's the big thing, because I know we have to wrap up soon. What would it be like if you created a new story? This is the work of the how. What would be your new story? Stacey, since you're here with me, let's practice this for everyone. We want to create a new story. So remember, a story is created based on an experience, an occurrence, something that happened, right? Based on that story, you define yourself as being less than in some way. It's always created to what you don't have, a deficit. Stacey, what would be your new story? I want everybody to think about this. Everyone should at this point have identified a story that has been hindering them. Let's visualize what a new story would offer you. Mm-hmm. Stacey, go for it. What would be your new story?
My new story would be, I am ecstatic, I am free, and I don't give a fizz naive who thinks what about me. That was saying it nicely. But I'm pretty sure that there is more meat there once I start to let this marinate for the day. Mm-hmm. But that I'm happy, that I am free, and I get to say, that's it. I get to say how it goes.
So I'm going to stop you for a second. Those are I want you to think about the end result. So what you're doing now is like, I want you to think about how you're living the life of the new story, right? So we have to do some work, which you're doing, which is good, but I want you to visualize what it would be like being what you want to be, right? Because what you're telling yourself is like, so your story now is sort of like, I'm not meeting others' expectations.
Yeah, a little of that. Yeah, that's part of it. Yep.
All right, and if I'm not correct, let's fix it. Like in a few words, what is the story you created about yourself based on this? Very, very briefly. You got to get specific, folks. So I created the story, I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. That was my story, okay? That was my story. So what specifically is your story based on this, like these experiences that you've had?
That if I truly live out the way that I want to, I will be too much for people.
I got to stop for a second because you're too much. Guess what? Is you being all of you. Ain't that something? You're too much is you being your bright, beautiful, blossoming flower. How can we not be too much in our bright? How can we be too much in our bright, blossoming flower? I just want to, people can hear things that you may not say. So basically you say, I'm going to shine so damn bright that it's going to be too much. So, let me not be it. Let me stop being my fabulousness. That's such BS. We can't live like that, right? So I just want to bring that to your attention. So you being in your full freedom is too much for people. Create a new story now.
When I am free, I give others the freedom to be free.
And how does that feel on you?
That felt so good. That felt so good. When I said it, I saw women around the world smiling. When I am free, I allow others to be free. I think that's what I said. When I'm free, I allow my freedom to have others free.
Good. So I want you to get more specific. When you are free in what? Call it out. Because remember, it's attached to this story. When I am free in?
When I am free of what word is it? Hierarchical? The hierarchy. When I am free of the world, when I am free of and I'm seeing clamps, when I am free of the clamps of the world and all that is put on me, my freedom allows others to be free.
Good. So the clamps go back to the chains of enslavement. I just want to show that, right?
Yeah.
That's what I keep saying, enslaved, right? Imagine being bonded, like you're in bondage. It's bondage, right? So I love that you said clamps. So I love that you're connecting it to the people out in the world. What would it be for you though? Let's bring it back to you. What would it do for you? My freedom would what? And everybody should be doing this work. We're using Stacey as an example, but everybody should be. This is not for you to look at and enjoy Stacey's journey. This is about you doing the work for you based on your story. So Stacey, say it again, but I want you to not include the world for the moment. Just you. What would it be for you? Because we got us honoring ourselves.
Wow, that's really like releasing the clamps of myself, like releasing my own chains. So when I am free, when I am free from my own restraints that I've made up, my freedom allows others to be free.
So when I can't tell you what to say. I just want you to get at what it's going to do for you. You stay in you for a moment, because you're right. As soon as you get free in you, it's going to transfer to others. Your work is going to continue to grow and be more empowering, right? So we know that, but I just want you to get clear on what it's going to do for you. Your freedom is doing what for you? It's giving you the space to do what?
The freedom the freedom is giving me the space to have, okay, you said not to use others. Okay, so the freedom is giving me the space to actually be free, to be fully self-expressed, to have, I'm about to say all the stuff, like have a peace of mind, because it's true. Like me having that freedom is giving me full self-expression, is giving me like the freedom to do whatever the hell that I want to do. Like me just running free, not looking at what anyone else is saying about me or around me. Like it's me just running free. I see me just running free and just, I don't know how else to say it.
So, okay. So you were saying it, right? And this is where you should do some more work on your own. I'm going to be at inner peace. I'm going to express myself wholly and fully. I'm going to have more joy. I'm going to feel lighter. So you're really defining what freedom is for you. I'm not feeling anxious. I feel more confident. I'm more present in my relationship, because you better believe the story is impacting your relationship. I'm more accepting of myself. I'm in flow with what's going on around me. I'm enjoying the now. I'm enjoying the now, because the now is right now. You may decide a year from now you want something completely different, but your now is what's important. And you want to be present to it. You want to enjoy it. You want to flow with it. You want to be in life with now. You want to trust. I will be trusting every moment of the day, and I will follow what's leading me and follow what's calling me, because I'm free. You see the specifics of that? That's life worth living. That's your freedom. So really what I should have asked you is, what does freedom really, the specifics of freedom? And that's what I want all of you to do, right? So as you let go of the story, as you let go of the bondage, as you release the chains, you're going to feel lighter, right? You're going to feel lighter. And imagine what that lighter is going to do for you. So the question was, the ask was, create a new story. My question now is, what's possible with the new story? Guess what? Everything. Everything that you desire. Everything that you want. Y'all may think I'm foolish, but I really believe we can have everything that we desire. I really believe it. I believe it, but we got to line up to it. We have to be in agreement with ourselves. We have to align with ourselves and release the shackles every time they show up. No more self-persecution. No more blaming others. No more blaming selves. Accepting what is. Letting go of the struggle. Appreciating ourselves. Living life to our fullest. Taking personal responsibility. Nobody could cut the shackles except you. All right, I'm gonna stop here because I know I'm over time. Stacey, thank you, sis.
Thank you. And before I hang up, you keep saying testicles. So testicles, you cutting the man balls off. So every time you say the testicles, we're giggling over here like it's tentacles. So I wouldn't be your friend if I ain't told you. So
no, thank you. Lord, don't cut the men balls off, please. Don't do that.
Testicles.
Tentacles. Lord have mercy. Thank God. I should have been reading the chat. All right. Thank you for letting me know, boo. Men, I apologize. I apologize. Thank you, Stace. All right, Nasha. Oh my God. All right. I'm ready. What's next? Where we go from here?
Thank you. So just a time check. It is 7 minutes after the hour. So just wanted to let aware. So some folks have left, so you can say bye to those who are need to leave before we wrap up at 8:30.
All right. So, well, this has been a really, at least for me, a rich conversation, and I certainly hope it has been for you all. I appreciate you all so much. If you have to go, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing. And I love y'all. I love you so much. Do we want to do the offerings now, or do we want to wait till later?
Well, it's 7 after, so I don't know how much more you have. So we just,
I'm finished at this point. It would only be questions if people have questions or comments that they wish to make. So I'm happy to do the offering, then we could keep having the conversation, whatever works for you guys.
Okay. Do we have any questions or anyone want to share anything to further this conversation? You could raise your hand quick or drop in a chat real quick, me. Let me see if I can find somebody, and then this will probably be the last one before we wrap up. Who we have? I know I'm always messing up your name. Yorlene, if you are you able to come off of mute? Let me see if I can. There we go. Would you like to share?
Did you mean Geraldine?
Yes. Yeah. I know I was gonna mess your name up.
No, it's fine. I thought I had the pronunciation. Well, I didn't. I did put I did have a question earlier, but I did make a comment. The question that I had that I put in the chat was in how when we're going through the how,
right? The how to go about changing those stories, or just releasing those stories rather, is, how is the best way to get, real clarity in, in approaching that, and the best way to approach, approach thinking about the how, and working, working through the how. And the comment that I had made was just that being free for me was getting to a point where I can um, be, a bit selfish and just really put myself and my needs first for a change, because I don't always, what the majority of the time, get an opportunity to do that, just because I can be stretched rather thin often. So yeah, so that's all I had mentioned in the
So
chat.
based on what you heard, do you feel like that question was answered? I just want to, because we did some work with Stacey and we tapped into that a little bit. Do you feel closer to the answer for yourself?
In finding clarity on how to approach the how.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little, maybe it's just the way I process things, but it's a little, it's a little cloudy for me. But the other day on the call, I also talked about wanting to release my resistance for things also. So that could just be my own sort of visors too that's making it unclear to me.
So I want to bring something to your attention. I just want you to know that the story of, you said something about there's a lot going on. Did you say something like that?
Well, I just said that I'm stretched pretty thin, just so I find myself pretty much putting stuff for me on hold more often than not.
Mm-hmm. So what I want you to be conscious of, that too is a story. And it's a story of you not taking care for you. It's a reason for you to not take care of yourself the way you should. Now, I'm not saying you're not stretched thin, but it's a story that prevents you from taking care of yourself. And so what I hear you saying is, how do I work through it? And you came up with it yourself. You got to let go of the resistance, but you also have to take the personal responsibility for it and create the new story. What is the new story? Work through that. Because hopefully you know that the story you have is it's not serving you, probably not making you feel good or empowered. So now it's time for you to create a new story. It's to let go of the struggle, make peace with what is, and create a new story. That's it. Now, that resistance looks like resistance when it's even time to create the new story. Because remember, I said sometimes it feels good to stay in what's the knowing. You already know this. But it takes work to move over here to create the new story. That's what you have to sit down and intentionally do. Intentionally make time to start reshaping the story you want to create for yourself that serves you. So the story of me not feeling worthy or I'm not enough has to be changed to, I am a goddess. I am everything. I am God. I am an expression of God itself. I am so powerful, one with self. I am intelligent. I'm genius. I'm original. I'm distinction. I'm all these amazing things, and I contribute to this universe in such a powerful way. Of course I am worthy. There is none like me. You see the new story I have to create, and believe it, not just create it, but believe it, and then live it and be it, and look at myself be it. And right now I'm being it.
Right. No, you actually hit it right on the nose. You said that it's the resistance that's not allowing me to create that new story, that's kind of that's pulling me or keeping me in that space of not
so why is that,
not
though?
being intentional and making it, and I guess putting my self-care first.
Okay, so the reason why you're resistant is because
Oh no, I said that you. I think you hit it on the head when you said that.
I know. Hold
my
on one second. I want you to
resistance is
complete this
what's
sentence.
keeping me.
I'm doing some coaching work with you.
Oh,
The
okay.
reason why you are resistant is because of, finished it.
I'm used to just putting my needs aside and handling everything else that that I'm tasked with in terms of my responsibilities or obligations.
Let's go
which is-
deeper. I am resistant because, go deeper. Go deeper. Because I don't want to finish the sentence.
Because I don't want to.
Or I'm afraid of. See, what I'm pushing you to do in a loving way is call it out. Call the BS out. Pull it out. Like, it's not because you're doing for other people. It's about you denying yourself. And there's a reason why. See, the serving other people is just an excuse. It's just an excuse. Get at it for your freedom. Get at it. Pull it up and out. That's what I'm inviting you to do now. And you don't necessarily have to do it here, but I'm telling you, you need to sit and really call it what it is. And sometimes it takes days to marinate over. And then suddenly, like, the spirit will speak to you and be like, oh my God, that's it. But you got to get that. You got to get that encounter with self that really pulls up what's really going on. It is not the serving people and doing for people it's just the surface stuff. That's there's a reason why you do that and deny yourself.
Oh no, it's not. This is not stuff that I voluntarily do. This is stuff that I actually have to do. Like,
okay, fair enough.
This is stuff I have to do. Like,
right. Okay, fair enough. But it's also the reason why you're not being free from the story, right? And so I see what you're saying, and in no way am I trying to minimize what is real for you. What is real for you? But it is worth looking really deep in, right? So I have a question for you, and this is something for you to take away because I know time is ticking. If you didn't have these other responsibilities, would the story be the same or would it be different for you? That's it, right? So imagine you. That's why when we say create a new story, it's looking at what you have perceived as impossible, right? Because we have this thing about what's impossible, but we like impossibles because impossibles create possibility. So right. What would be possible for you if you didn't have the responsibilities you have? Then ask yourself, well, what's the story you're telling yourself based on you not being able to achieve that, right? It's sort of like keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. Because it'd be beautiful if you can somehow balance and navigate you honoring yourself, being free from the story, and still being able to do what you have to do, right? Because we do have responsibilities, but the freedom within, that's what we're talking about mostly. Even though we have responsibilities. So when I say make peace with what is, sometimes it is what it is. Right? Like being a woman who's in a divorce, raising 2 children and seeing my children emotionally suffer sometimes is very hard, very hard. I had to decide to make peace with what is and not let it consume me and still be on my mission for freedom. Because remember how I said I got pulled, right? Yeah. So how do we make peace with what is, but still honor ourselves? Because, we could still be blessed in the storm. We can still manifest in the storm. I hope that resonates with you.
It does. It gives me a lot to think about. Okay. But even thinking about it might be putting myself in trouble because I do overdo it sometimes. But it does give me a lot to think about for sure.
Good. And so the last thing I'm going to say is, you said I do overdo it sometimes. I want you to ask yourself, why do I overdo it? Because there's something going on there. Why do you overdo it? And sometimes it's the distractions that allow us to not have to focus on ourselves. So just things to think about. I'm glad you're walking away with stuff to think about. And I wish you much success. Love you. Thank you for being a part of this and sharing.
Thank you, Tirza.
All right,
Tirza.
Where are we going now?
All right, I just wanted to share a comment. We have a new person in the space today, Fua Ata. Just wanted to thank you for this morning. Did share that it was the first time in the space, and they're going to try to join another time because they're usually not up this early. So is it all right for us to go ahead and move into your special offer at this time?
Yes.
All right, wonderful.
Okay. So my friends, we are in the new year. It's 2021. And, you know, we'd be remiss to not look at the realities of how 2020 has come into 2021, right? It's just real. The challenges that we're going through, what we've experienced yesterday at the Capitol, they're just challenges all over the place, right? And there's challenges within our personal lives and how we're dealing with the challenges of the world. But I want to invite you to be a part of my complimentary webinar titled The Season of Awakening, because what I want us to realize and what I want us to move in as we get comfortable in 2021 is that we can see beyond the challenges. We can see beyond the challenges that are spilling over from last year and begin to look ahead and awaken for our lives what is good, great, and possible. We cannot let what's happening around us impact our journey to becoming our greater selves. I believe that we must focus on our lives. We must have a vision for our lives in 2021, and we must go on that journey together. And so this particular webinar that I'm hosting this upcoming Sunday, January 10th from 3 to 5, is going to take you through a visioning exercise that will inspire you for this season ahead, that will give you every reason to take personal responsibility and accountability for your life and step in to a year that will give you the results you desire. I do believe it's possible for you to have everything you desire. If we get into alignment with it, and if we shift our thinking, if we let go of those stories, and we focus on the now, you can live in peace and live well and see the end of this year strong. And so in this webinar, I'm going to set you up for your success. Go ahead, register now. Again, it's a complimentary event, 2 hours. It's going to be a group of dynamic folks who are ready to take on and look ahead in 2021. So I do hope you would join me. I look forward to having you. Okay, so guys, I invite you to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm also on LinkedIn as well, at Tirza Motivates. That's where you can find me. My website is tirzamotivates.com. You can email me at tirzamotivates.com if you want to get to me directly. But you know, follow me. I post motivational and inspirational messages on the regular. I post events that I'm doing that I'd love to have you be a part of. It'd be great just to connect via social media. All right. So this is a time where, first and foremost, I say to you, thank you for allowing me to bring this conversation to you. As I share with you stories and as I share these topics with you, I want you to know it's part of my healing and my growing, right? I'm always growing. And so I invite the community to grow with me. And growing is, and sharing in front of people is a very vulnerable experience, right? So thank you for giving me that opportunity. And if you feel that it has benefited you and it has prospered you in some way, you know, a beautiful way to show your appreciation is just to offer love through donations, right? The love offerings that we do here at the community. You know, when I'm able to do complimentary events, it's because, okay, beautiful, I'm blessed in other ways. Love offerings allows me to be blessed in other ways so that I can continue to give back to the community. So I appreciate you. I thank you in advance if you feel compelled and called to make a love offering. Thank you so much. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to send a love offering to Zelle or QuickPay via SOWleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com or Cash App, which is $Spirit of a Woman. So the particular code that you're going to use for this session is #235TBG. 235TBG. Again, I thank you in advance. I thank you for blessing me, and I appreciate you. Okay.
Thank you, Tirza. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Really, really awesome. So thank you. We appreciate you. And then family, our next session coming up on Sunday, we have Charmaine, our very own coach, Charmaine Calendar Nottingham, and Chantel Gamble, and they will be sharing with us caring for the caregiver. They'll be sharing their own experiences as caregivers and providing tools for the caregivers out there for their own self-care. So please do join us on Sunday. We start at 7, and we would love to have you. Moving on to the next slide, our schedule. We are here in Zoom and in Facebook on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30, and on Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 7:30. So join us in Zoom, join us on Facebook, join the community. We need you, and we're doing this for you, so please do join us. Here are all the many ways that you can keep in touch with us. You can register using this link for upcoming weeks. It's bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. We have a Facebook page. Please go to Facebook and request to be in the group. It is a closed group, and so once you request and be accepted, then you'll be in the group and you'll be able to watch the recordings, or rather watch the sessions live, or you can always go back and watch something over again, or watch it if you have missed it. We have our Instagram page up here and our YouTube page, and then there is email. We welcome your comments, suggestions, and expressions of love or appreciation through email. The address is info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. Today is Thursday, and on Thursdays after the session, we remain in the space with anyone who is interested in volunteering. The Wake Up Everybody team is a team of volunteers, and if you are so led, we would ask that you stick around and hear the many ways that you can volunteer on the production team, on the slides creation team, on the marketing or facilitator team. So feel free to stay afterwards. Kathy Thomas will be in the space, and she will be leading that discussion for all those who are interested. And I apologize, it's Kathy Thompson, not Thomas. All right, it is time for the love shower. So let's go ahead and place the view in gallery view. And it is time for us to share our love and energy with Tirza, who so beautifully shared with us, letting go of our story and the ways that will serve us going forward.
Thanks, Boo. Thank you, my boo.
Thank you so much, Tirza. This was great. I love this. It really helped me to know that at least I'm on the right track. Thankful to wake up everybody and all those places that my work to help us together.
Thank you.
No greater
Tirza, for what you're doing. The one that you move forward.
everyone. Have a blessed day.
Right? Cut them off.
Thank you for the offerings for this Sunday.
Everybody who was triggered today, let's do the work to go deeper. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tirza. Everyone listening,
God
move
is
forward.
fixing you. Yes, look at you. Yes. Receive it.
Love that glow.
Receive the blessings, abundance, and all that's being manifested for you. We love you.
So,
Mwah.
thank you for
being
light.
a ray of light.
Because
Thank
I
you for
know
being
that you're coming out of
inspiration.
this. And Teresa,
Thank you.
oh my gosh,
Thank you,
you
thank you, thank
are
you.
so powerful.
And thank
And
you
I'm
all to the
so
admin
impressed
team for looking
and
as beautiful as you
so
are. Thank
awed
you,
by you
Charmaine. Thank
and your
you.
strength.
Thank you,
Teresa,
Nigel.
I
Looking
don't know
so
where you're
good as you
going,
see
but
that
don't you go
juicy
So
anywhere.
much,
fro.
Tirza.
Yes, thank you so
Teresa
much.
Plaskett, don't you
What?
go.
Oh, what?
Thank you, Kathy. And thank you, Tirza.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you for the
Thank
testicle
you.
conversation,
Yes,
Tirza.
testicle.
Everybody,
About time, Tirza. I wasn't mad at you for this
Welcome
one.
back,
No
Bielka. I'm
testicle,
so
girl.
happy to
You
see
said
you
the
in
right
the
thing.
space. Just so joyful today. So thank you,
Yes,
everybody. I love you all.
yes, love
Stacy,
you.
you are like you are a beast. You yourself said that at one point, but you are a beast conquering life. So you just show it all. Just show
I
up as
know.
you.
I am. Rah! Love y'all. I love y'all.
Tirza, thank you so
thank
much
you.
for all that you have done, all that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to register for that course. Thank you for
Beautiful.
offering that.
Yes.
I truly
Yes.
appreciate
Everybody,
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
sign up for the course. Yes. And we're
Yes.
it represents love. So yes, we all loving ourselves, loving
What
on
are you doing
others.
over there, Stacy? You're pulling at your clothes.
I'm pulling on. That's right. It's all this love over here. This freedom,
Yes.
it's pouring down
Right now.
Yes. Hallelujah. Thank you, sister.
Good
Thank
morning.
you.
I wanted to say hi to Tirza. Tirza, I heard you were asking who I am for recommending all the ladies to you. How are you?
Thank you, Shayna. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Pleasure to see you and connect with you.
Yes. Great show today.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Oh, beautiful. Sisters loving sisters. Hey, Shayna Boo, how you doing?
Hi, Stacy.
Hi,
How are
Bielka. I
you?
miss you, Bielka. Thank you for being here.
Yes, Velka. Good seeing you, Velka. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Good to be back.
Thank you, beautiful family.
Okay,
Love y'all.
peace and
All right.
love.
So we're not ending it.
Oh, yes,
Tirza,
that's right. Let
I
me get
think
off
you
this
have
for
to
the other
go for
people.
your debrief.
Yes.
And
Okay.